Where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is a TCSF podcast with your hosts E-Rock and Big Z.
Yeah.
We are sponsored in part by Noir Caesar, Villain Radio Studios, and Grit Clothing Company. This week we talk about Chicago playoff baseball, or the lack of there. We break down the Cubs and Marlins, we break down the White Sox and the A's, and we try to figure out what the heck went wrong with both squads.
Let me see. Let's see. How much time you got?
Oh, perfect. Yes.
If we're gonna do that, I gotta start drinking.
All right. We also recap the pathetic Bears performance that we just seen versus Old Man Rivers.
Well, it didn't look that old today.
No. He took the rejuvenation juice. And Old Man Rivers and the Colts. I mean, wow. Let me just get to it. We'll talk about to our Bears analyst, Il Brown, in our 3 and Out segment. We'll take a look ahead to next week's game on Thursday.
Yep.
Quick turnaround, 5 days
right
from now. So against another old man.
Yeah.
But this old man turned back the clock.
Well, that's because all that TB12 juice he drinks, and I don't know I don't know if he's like, sucking the souls out of babies at a clinic or something. I don't know what's going on.
He's sacrificing virgins.
Yeah. He's doing something. But yeah, we're gonna we'll talk to Il Brown about next week's game, which is gonna come out tonight, the night that we're dropping the show.
Right.
It's going to come out tonight, or it's going to be on tonight against the Bucks and Mr. Thomas Brady.
I mean, his balls weren't deflated today.
maybe they were.
Maybe they were. He had a good grip. Yeah,
he had 5 touchdowns. All right. But first, it's time for 3 Up and 3 Down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
3 Up and 3 Down is brought to you by our newest sponsor, Grit Clothing Company. We discuss the best and the worst of what's been going on with our favorite baseball teams this week. Big Z, tell me something good about the South Side, please.
Oh, my God. So I know we're going to recap both teams, but, I mean, it's just so deflating and just demoralizing to have all this hope. And I remember when we first started talking, and we're talking about the baseball teams, and who do you think is going to have the better chance to make the playoffs? And you said said the Sox, and I said the Cubs.
Well, what we said was in the beginning of the year, what team would you rather have this year?
Yes.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
And I think we both said the Cubs, just because we were like, well, for this year, we want the Cubs. For the future, we want the Sox, and we both agreed on that.
Right, because you want to take a proven track record,
right,
to win this shortened season. And we agreed that the use on the Sox side is for the future.
Right.
All right, so let me get to my good. Number 1, Abreu and Anderson. Mm-hmm. Mr. MVPito.
Pito.
Yeah, and Mr. On the Clock, Tim Anderson. This man. All right, Tim had a pretty good season. I mean, he batted leadoff for us. And when you bat leadoff, you have a different mindset.
Yes.
You have to set the table for everybody else behind you. So Tim had a batting average of 322, 67 hits, 10 home runs,
wow,
and an OPS of 886.
That's not too shabby.
No, I mean, before the slump, I'm sorry, they were considering 3 guys on the White Sox for the MVP.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that fell off with everybody slumping, but MVPito, that's right, had a batting average of 317, 76 hits, 19 home runs, 60 RBIs, and an OPS of 987.
Goodness gracious.
Ridiculous season.
You are ridiculous.
That's right. I mean, this man has to win the MVP.
I mean, I've been campaigning for you, Darvish, to win the Cy Young, and you came back at me with like,
Bauer.
well, I was like, I can't even. I can't counteract a player to go against Senor Pito over there.
Yeah, I mean, these 2 guys had a great season. Unfortunately, the entire team went into a slump the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we've seen it especially against the Cubs.
The power outage.
Yeah, we had a power outage. I mean, we did come back and forth with you guys, but at the same time, when you played the Oakland A's, which was I don't want to say they're a great team because they weren't.
They're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team, but I don't think they were that great.
But here's the thing. Every single team in your division, every single team in my division that made the playoffs sucked so bad.
Was it one win?
I think because I'm pretty sure the Twins got swept.
Yes.
Cleveland got swept.
Yes. Brewers
got swept.
Yes.
St. Louis got swept.
Yes.
No. St. Louis had to win.
So us and St. Louis had the wins.
Right. My
The two nemesis.
The two teams that I dislike the most won.
I hate St. Louis too, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's because you're a Dodgers fan.
That's right.
Closeted Dodger fan.
I'm not closeted. I wear my Dodgers
I
stuff.
guess that is true.
That's right. All right, let's move it on to number 2. Giolito, proven that he is the ace in the staff.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no disputing that whatsoever. The team struggled overall, aside from Giolito and Keuchel. And Keuchel was like Keuchel. He had a Keuchel-like season. He had whatever you expected out of him. Giolito, who we had high hopes for when he came over from Washington, and then we were just like, what is happening with this guy? He went from like worst to first pretty quick. I thought he was an NFL team.
We have one of those.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you look at now you got to look at the rest of your staff going forward. Kopech, Cease, Lopez should just be shipped off to wherever the heck he came from in the first place. Don't let him play baseball in the majors again.
Hey, do the Cubs want to trade? We trade you Lopez.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on to.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
You don't want Quintana?
No, Quintana's a free agent. Y'all can have him.
No, to say we might sign him.
You probably will. You probably will, and then he'll go back to your squad and do good the same way that our closer from 2016 did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Come on.
All right, number 3. Lou Bob Robert. Yes. Yeah. Lou Bob was as advertised.
You
I mean, we saw all the clips of him in the minors hitting moonshots.
Here's the thing about Lou Bob. We kept hearing about Eloy, and then Lou Bob showed up and was like, "Who is Eloy? I don't even care about that dude." He's like, "I'm gonna catch for you."
There's a guy in left field. What's his name?
And
he just shows up every day.
My favorite part, and y'all gave us so much crap about Eloy, and I mean, overall he's gonna be good. I think eventually what's gonna happen is he's gonna end up being just a DH.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, Quintana was serviceable for us. Again, he's a free agent right now.
Yes, he is.
But, when you got Eloy coming up and hitting home runs right away, a lot of players do that, and then they fizzle out.
Yeah.
And he couldn't stay away from his spider web there. He kept getting caught. I'll never forget that. That was my favorite. But Lou Bob showed up, and I forgot all about Eloy.
Yeah, he really took over that team and started hitting bombs. His defense was spectacular. I mean, he had a couple mishaps, but that's going to happen.
That's going to happen no matter who you are.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, that moonshot he hit against the A's?
Yes.
It's still in orbit.
Yes. I will tell you probably my favorite Lou Bob moment of the season is when he ran over and snatched that ball that Eloy should have caught, and Eloy stood there like a kid who got picked last in gym class, just like chewing on the inside of his lip like, and then how come nobody liked me? That was great.
That was amazing. I mean, there's memes all over the place. I love it.
That's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right. So
we got more bad. We got a lot bad.
We got plenty of bad.
Yeah.
So go ahead and
all right.
kick it off.
Number one, because I wrote this right after the loss to the A's, so I was still emotional. So bear with this. All right, pitching. Management of the bullpen was just horrible. Mm-hmm. All right. Who do we put that on? You've got to put that on the coaches. All right. Yeah. Renteria and Don Cooper. Sorry.
When are you guys going to get a new pitching coach?
He's been there since the beginning of time.
This guy's been there since the Black Sox or the Black Sox of 19 whatever. He's 1919.
He's the only guy that didn't get blackballed. Yeah, the pitching management was just horrible down the stretch. I mean, I don't even want to talk about how they put in Dane Dunning for 2 outs.
That I don't understand. What was the point of that? Were they just trying to make sure they didn't have any pitches to go into if they went to the next round?
Well, if
so they have an excuse and like if we somehow make it out of this game, we go to the next round and we fail. Oh well, in game 3, I don't understand what that was about.
It hasn't come out. It's not really been public news, but Steve Stone let it be known that Dane Dunning had a dead arm.
So what the hell was he doing starting?
Exactly. So if he had a dead arm and you start him, or you're like, hey, can you suck it up and pitch? He's the rookie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, then you put him out there.
Who's pitched a lot through the season. You put the other rookie, Mr. Crotch Rocket.
Well,
He could have pitched 2 to 3 innings.
Well, he could have, but then he came in right after that, and what happened?
Well, the thing is, he didn't get to stretch for long enough.
Right. Well, I mean, they're doing their stretches. Well, where's CSAT?
He pitched the day before in relief. That's why you couldn't use him the next day.
So what? That's
Again,
just
mismanagement.
Total mismanagement.
Yes.
All the way.
Why is Rodon in there when the game was on the line?
Why haven't we seen headlines that Ricky's been fired yet? That's the question I want to know.
I agree. I mean, he's he was up for manager of the year mid-August. That's gone.
Because of wins?
Obviously, because you know how it is. If your team's winning, you get all the credit. But when your team sucks, you're going to get all the fault too.
Yeah.
Right.
But sometimes it's deserved.
Yeah, we'll see what the White Sox do with Ricky. I have lots of people that I've been talking to, and they're saying Ricky's here to stay.
Why?
I don't
Why?
know. I don't know.
What are they waiting for?
I don't know. And there was a report that came out this morning, and Reinsdorf put the whole Ozzy thing to bed.
Please, look, I know you love Ozzy.
Yeah.
I know you love Ozzy.
Yes, I do.
Stop. Stop.
But he's blackballed in baseball at the same time.
Okay.
He should be up for managing jobs.
Black ball, brown ball, blue balls. I don't care.
Blue balls suck.
Ozzy is doing just fine where he is. Okay, he's extremely entertaining on TV. Mm-hmm. Him and Big Hurt out there mashing, and they're more critical of anyone. And I really enjoy hearing about Nick Swisher. So I want
you want him to stay on the pre and post games.
I really want. I to be honest, like, think about it though. Like, what if you have to endure losses? Isn't it at least entertaining to have someone else sit there and like grieve or like share frustration with you?
Yeah.
You know, and Ozzy's that dude. I mean, and the thing is that y'all won in 05 with Ozzy. Mm-hmm. He's always going to be revered. Don't bring him back and tarnish that legacy.
I see your point there. I see your point.
You know, but now
we do need a new coach.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you who it should be. AJ Hinch.
Ooh, that's controversial.
I said that earlier. I said that earlier in the year, too.
You did.
Now, Hinch and Cora are on the Tigers list of manager candidates.
Yeah.
Leave Cora there. I don't want Cora.
You don't want Cora?
Don't bring Alex Cora.
Cora might go to Boston. He might go back to Boston.
So here's the thing. Hinch was basically collateral damage. He was the fall guy because one of his coaches was the one that orchestrated the whole thing. I think Cora was a bench coach in Houston and when they won their World Series.
Right.
But AJ Hinch, from all we've seen, was a good guy, a good manager. He was able to take their young guys in Houston. And that was the thing, is that I really liked Houston before all this kind of crap came out. And,
right. Because they were homegrown kids. You know,
right.
You drafted, you brought them up to the system, you changed the entire system.
They brought in the vet Verlander,
right,
who's out now because his TJ injury. He just had surgery. Mm-hmm. But Hinch, I mean, that's to me, that's the guy. His suspension should be over. Now, they got a year suspension in a year with only 60 games.
Yeah, they got lucky.
Either way, it's still a calendar year.
It's calendar year. So.
You know, but that, to me, that's your guy.
All right, let's finish this number 1 point off. So help is needed on starting pitching front.
Yeah.
And there's a couple names that are going to be out there. One is Marcus Stroman, and the other one is a guy I really want on the team, Trevor Bauer.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yes.
Are you talking about the pitching version of AJ Brzezinski?
Yes.
Good God.
This is why I want him.
This guy. Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing.
Yes.
If Trevor Bauer is on the Sox, he can't talk crap to all the Sox hitters that he struck out.
That's true.
That he seems to love to do.
That's okay. You can talk about the crap to you guys.
Y'all don't play us that often. He's going to have to pick a AL Central team to talk crap to. That's what it is.
Which is fine. All right. Moving on. Number two. The DH spot continues to hunt the White Sox.
Oh, it is October.
Yeah, it is. So this is year 2, possibly year 3 of bad production from the DH spot. Encarnacion was not the answer. He had the worst year of his career playing in the 60-game season. So it needs to be addressed. And he's going to be gone. They're not going to pick up his option.
So who do you think they should bring in?
DJ LeMahieu.
Former Cub DJ LeMahieu?
Hey, he's hitting now, so put him on our team.
Look, LeMahieu won I think is the batting title in the NL and the AL.
Right.
I mean, I'm a fan of his. I hope he comes. A lot of Cubs fans want him to come back. A lot of he's going to be a hot commodity.
Yeah, he is, and that's why I don't think they'll get him. So if you're going to work on the DH, you can rotate your guys. You can rotate Abreu. You can put in the Spider-Man in there. You can put, hopefully they re-sign McCann, which I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Some people don't want them to be re-signed and spend that much money on a catching position, but you might have to with Giolito needing that personal catcher.
You cannot sleep on how important a catcher is to the team. Catchers always make the best managers. Okay, look at the Cubs manager right now, who did a pretty damn good job, and considering the circumstances.
Joe Madden was a catcher, wasn't he?
I have no idea. If he played, it was in like the 1900s.
I think he played with the
Angels, because that was his organization for a long time.
But he played with the commissioner. No, the assistant commissioner, whoever it is. The former coach from the Yankees, Torre. Joe Torre.
Oh,
he played with Joe. I think.
Good Lord, are they old?
Yeah. They're older than dirt.
So this is like old timey baseball.
Yeah, Tommy Lasorda baseball. Yeah, that's right. All right. Finishing off my DH point. So they can sign another outfielder and rotate all the vets in there. Another option is you bring up Vaughn. I know he's going to be the rookie that they've been touting, but you can put him in a DH spot.
You could, but
these guys are all going to be young, so that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to rotate them in because Vaughn is not going to play first base.
I still
not yet.
And
Abreu's too proud to be sitting down all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. Abreu deserves to stay where he is. I've been saying it all year. It should be Eloy.
Yeah,
he can't move.
That's fine.
He can't move any way they need him to. Put it that way. I mean, he's basically Kyle Schwarber. And Schwarber's defense has definitely gotten a lot better, but still, man.
Okay, let's finish off point number 3 here. Right field needs to be addressed again. Another signing that the Sox made by getting Mr. Big Chill.
Oof.
His average was on ice.
Ice cold.
Yeah, that's right. And Engel, who played limited, had better stats. He's better defensively. And you know what? He played his way into the lineup as of late. You've got to give him a shot unless you sign a bigger name.
Well, who else could they sign over there?
I don't know. Jock Peterson from the Dodgers.
Okay, he's been up and down.
Agent.
He's been up and down.
You're right. Again, another big bust, bigger bust, whatever.
Boomer bust, yeah.
Yeah, boomer bust, thank you. Michael Brantley.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
Yeah. So those are my recommendations. Quickly, I'm going to note some notable mentions. Makata.
Yeah.
He was kind of down this year. He had COVID issues, hamstring issues.
Well, Moncada started the year on the COVID list.
Right.
And then he noted about halfway through the season that he was having, he still had the fatigue from COVID. So, I mean, you took a team of young kids who you had no expectations for, and you pulled the 2015 Cubs.
Yeah, you did.
You did. Which we all said was coming, and they managed to do it.
Right.
Now, granted, they didn't make it to ALCS like the Cubs did, but
that's fine. You accomplished a little bit more. Not going to hate on it, but you also had a better pitching staff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we had 2 pitchers.
That's true. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And that's, to me, over anything else, I think you guys need to focus on pitching.
Yeah.
On starting pitching.
Right, especially with the crotch rocket going down, possibly needing Tommy John. We don't know yet as of Sunday. Gio Gonzalez was a train wreck. Ugh. I mean, he was there to be more of a mentor than anything, but I hate when teams do that, hiring coaches to play.
I don't mind it if you're not going to put him in crucial roles.
Which they put him in all different. They made him started. They made him a reliever. Whatever. You
couldn't figure out what to do with Rodon.
No, Rodon is just another train wreck again. And then one of the names that you like to say, Steve Cishek. Yeah, the White Sox just released him.
No, they did.
Yeah, they released him before the playoffs.
I know that didn't they set him down? I know they released him outright.
Yeah, he's gonna be released.
No, I mean
he's not coming back. That's on Madden. Madden blew out his arm.
I hope he enjoyed Chicago. he got enough time here. You got to experience both sides of town.
Chicago.
All right, E, let's talk about the north side. What's going on over there, brother?
All right, we got goods. We got bads. It's
Let's start off with the good, man.
I mean that's what I do, so I can be depressed later. But I'll give you my first good is David Ross. In his first season as manager, was able to lead his team to win the division and into the playoffs. We had no clue how it would go for a guy who was a teammate from the 2016 championship team, but he managed to pull it off.
I think he already had built relationships with different individuals that are from that team, and that camaraderie kind of he was already the older statesman there.
Statesman.
Thank you, statesman. So that was kind of like a nice transition for him to go to.
Yeah,
and they know he knows this stuff. I mean, and I was telling you, we were watching the playoff game. I was like, he's managing the pitcher.
Yes. He was
calling pitches.
Yeah, he was. Well, yes. Yeah, you said he was calling pitches from the dugout. I mean, he was Lester's personal catcher.
Yes.
Okay. He was. I think he was like locker mates with Hayward in Atlanta.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was locked because they were both in Atlanta together before Rossi went to Boston. You know, he was a mentor for Contreras. He's good friends with Rizzo. You know, so that was always the question. Now, did he get more out of them because he knew them, or is he just that good of a manager?
I think he's just a very smart guy.
I do too. Yeah. Next up, I have to commend the Chicago Cubs. They were the only team in Major League Baseball to complete the season with no positive COVID tests.
That's right.
The Cubs have 2 players on their roster who are cancer survivors in John Lester and Anthony Rizzo. You know, it could have just been a luck of the draw, or it could have been that their team and organization saw what Tommy Hotovy went through to start at the start of all this, and he took it seriously enough to navigate through the season without getting infected. No matter how you personally look at COVID, this is impressive.
I think this is you tip your hat to the organization for having protocols that were stiffer than what MLB put in.
Yeah.
And MLB actually came back to them after the St. Louis debacle and Miami debacle.
And asked, what are you doing?
And ask them, what are you guys doing?
How are you doing it?
Exactly. So that goes to show the type of organization that the Cubs have in protecting their players, their staff, and everybody that's around the baseball club.
And this is a close-knit team that we well know that, like we were just talking about the manager. All these guys have been together for so long. I'll give you my third good point here.
All right.
I got 2 guys here. And it's Yu Darvish and it's Jason Hayward.
Okay.
Now you've heard me talk about them a ton on this show. These are 2 guys who are making big money and they're not going anywhere. And they were 2 bright, shining stars this season. There have been reports that Theo is on his way out the door. While it's going to be sad to realize it will be an end of an era, I'm so glad that 2 guys that he had a hand in bringing in were able to show their potential this season.
So, just not to cut you off or anything, but both of these guys came over to the Cubs.
Yes.
And had horrible seasons.
Right away, yeah.
Right away. Yeah. And everybody was like, they're getting paid way too much. Well, Yu Darvish was coming off the World Series Astros cheating thing that we figured that out. Jason came over from Atlanta, and he wasn't hitting.
No, Jason came over after a year with St. Louis because he was at St. Louis for 1 year. They traded for him.
Right,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But again, he was not hitting.
And I always contribute. To me, I always thought after Jason Hayward was one of my favorite players when he first came up in 2010. He got his face smashed in with a pitch. And that's why he wears that C flap or S flap or whatever they call it on his face. And he was one of the first guys to really do that. And I think that made him gun shy. You know, and then over the time, he's kind of changed
similar
his swing.
To someone else on the team?
What, on the Cubs? Who?
Third baseman? Didn't get hit in the face?
Yeah. But he didn't get his whole face smashed up.
No, he didn't get it smashed up.
Hayward had a broken jaw.
Right.
You know, and that's a huge thing. I mean, like, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, I was really glad that they were able to show their potential. I look forward to see what next season has in store for them if they can both keep it up. Darvish finished with an 8-3 record, ERA of 2.01 with 93 strikeouts.
He's dominant.
He may not end up winning the Cy Young, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing me talk about this guy right now. But damn it, give him some shine after all the crap that Cubs fans, that Dodgers fans, that baseball fans in general, they all gave him so much crap after his World Series against the Astros.
Yeah.
And we found out why that was.
Yeah. We found out why.
Bang, bang, bang went the drum.
Yeah, and you had a great outing in the playoffs. I mean, he held that team down.
Yep.
It just at the end of the day, the Cubs didn't hit.
Seventh inning.
7 and 1/3, 2/3.
It was the seventh inning, and he threw a pitch that was right in the wheelhouse, and
It got rocked. Yeah,
he got rocked, and it was just that. It was that one. That was the 2-0. That was 2-0, and that was the end of the game. So Hayward finished with a .265 batting average, which is 4 points higher than his career average. His slug was .456, second highest of his career, and his on-base percentage was .392. He's going to be 32 going into next season, and he's still got plenty of baseball left to play. Both these guys, I think, are signed for until I think it's either 2022 or 2023.
yeah, and you know what? We'll talk about the offseason moves that they need to make on another episode, because that can take up a whole.
That's coming up.
Yeah, that can be taking a whole hour. So let's move over to what's going on with bad stuff with the Chicago Cubs.
Bad. This is a name that I don't know if you're familiar with.
I did.
And the name is Ednel Javier Baez.
I don't know that guy.
And I says, ¿Dónde está el mago? Where did the magic go? Because
I think he went over to America's Got Talent,
bro,
and
this guy
boot him off.
They could take one of these wind turbines they got out in Indiana and change it and put Javi out there, and he could power the whole state of Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, the whole Great Lakes. Okay. This dude, I mean, he couldn't hit a beach ball.
Oh no.
It was
bad. It was really bad.
I am a calm.
Whoa, back it up there.
Level headed when it comes to sports. I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not all about like, oh, Sox and this. When I talk about the Sox, if I say the Sox suck, it's because I got stats to back it up. That's why they suck. Now I'm not. Hey, the Sox sucks because they don't play near my house. They play on the other side of town. So those guys are terrible. That's not how it works. That's not how I am. Okay.
Well, that's true because you've been on the south side for the last couple of weeks with me.
Oh, stop it! Okay. I made sure I had mace and my knife in my pocket.
Oh,
so I
relax. That was the McDonald's knife for the breakfast.
Right.
You ain't cutting nobody,
bro. You okay? Look, your Wendy's still have ashtrays in them. Okay, that's how old school south side is. We talk about anyway. So
you have a Wendy's?
It's just Wendy. There's no Wendy's. They took the S. I don't know what happened to this guy. He said it was because he doesn't have technology. I can't look at my iPad. Blah blah blah. Blame it on the Astros. A lot of players, like I said before, had that problem this year. But he had a horrible season offensively. He's back to his old ways of swinging and missing at everything. He looked completely disengaged, and he ended up with a .203 batting average on the season. That's bad.
Brutal.
That is bad.
Brutal.
Next, wasted opportunities on their extremely short playoff run. They managed 1 run in 2 games, and that was an Ian Happ homer in game 1. They allowed young guys who, granted, they pitched pretty well. They allowed them to dominate the Cubs. And Yu Darvish was masterful, like I said, until he gave up the homer in the 7th inning of Game 2, which ended up being the game winner. In the 4th inning of Game 2, both Contreras and Happ walked. Hayward hit a liner to right, and then Contreras ended up getting thrown at the plate because he was trying to be super aggressive. Now, I'm all for being aggressive, but Contreras is not that guy. Billy Hamilton, yes, absolutely. That's what you brought him here for. But Contreras, this guy is what are you doing?
I rewatched that over and over.
Yeah.
And at first I thought he blew a stop sign, but that coach had his hands on his thighs. He never told him to stop. He should have told him to stop.
100%. I think it was
when he touched third base, the right fielder already was throwing.
Matt Joyce already knew where he was going.
Oh.
Matt Joyce, that ball was, extremely frustrating. That's on Contreras. That's on the coach. That's on both of them. I don't care what, But yeah, like I said, Billy Hamilton, go for it. But that was a wasted opportunity all the way. And again, in the 5th, Caratini gets on with a single. Happ gets on with basically the exact identical hit. Contreras gets hit by a pitch for the walk to load the bases. Rizzo strikes out. And then Schwarber flies out to left. You had all the men on base, and you can't scratch one run across.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing on the south side. We had the same exact thing: bases loaded and kill the score.
It's
frustrating.
It's frustrating. It's disheartening, and it seems that this is a trend. I almost feel like unless you catch magic or lightning in a bottle, the Chicago baseball teams, when they make the playoffs, you know they're going to be out early. You almost had that gut feeling.
Yeah, if you would have said, early August, what I thought the White Sox could do, I thought they would murder everybody.
Yeah.
And it's up to when they got to the World Series. But when they started losing, going through that losing streak, and the way they were playing, their body language, the coaching, I was like, oh, they're done. They're done.
Yeah. You just get, I just feel like with Chicago baseball, once they make it to the playoffs, like the 2016 Cubs, you had a feeling.
Yeah, you can see it.
You had
almost feel it.
You had that feeling. I mean, they led wire to wire, and then they were able to take it, and you just had that feeling that, okay, this is finally the year. This really feels like the year, not just like, oh, they're kind of... Anyway, lastly, end of an era. I mean, we mentioned that Theo's leaving. There's reports that he doesn't intend to return to his role as president of the Cubs. He's going to discuss his next move with Tom Ricketts. Madden's gone. Lester looks like he might be done. It feels like there's no gas left in the tank. Rizzo is still a pro, and if they don't win ever again, he'll still be beloved in this town forever. But the magic, like I just said, of the 16 Cubs feels like it feels like it was decades ago at this point.
It does feel like a long time ago.
And this is 4 years ago. And that's why when we go back and forth, like, 2005, 2016, whatever. It
doesn't matter. It's in the past.
They're both over. Now, this has been the most successful stretch of Cubs baseball that I and many other that are alive have ever seen. I'll look fondly on this group of players, but I can't help this feeling that it's all over. Baseball teams change quite a bit from year to year, and there will be departures and additions, just like always. But I feel like we expected more.
Yeah, I think we got excited, saw the hype, and we're like, okay, we can make some damage. We can make some noise in the playoffs. The
guys that they kept that they didn't trade away kind of fell flat. And the guys that they did trade away seem to be studs.
Yeah, for both teams.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because there was a lot of former White Sox on the A's.
Right, but I'm talking about like with this stretch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got Eloy that they sent off. Cease. Well, Cease. We'll see what happens with Cease. But that was just a trade. For what we got in return. The kid in New York, the second baseman.
You mean Gleyber Torres?
I do mean Gleyber Torres.
I mean, that kid's a stud.
He's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
He's awesome.
But you got your chip for that.
But Chapman went back to New York after that.
Chapman's all about his money. He's always wanted to be in New York.
I mean, so look, that I don't want to go back to being lovable losers. And I don't think we can go back to that because now we're spoiled.
You've set the bar too high to be lovable losers again.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. We're spoiled now, so we expect them to do well all the time.
You can give that to the city of Cleveland.
Look, I honestly hope that we can find the pieces to be able to have some success next season. Probably another pitcher. I don't know what's going to go on with Bryant.
There's going to be a lot of moves. I think Rizzo's
going to be here. Rizzo's not going anywhere. But I think there's a long list of players.
There's about 4 or 5 of them that are part of your nucleus that have 1 year left.
Because you got Rizzo right now. You have Bryant, who we got to figure out what's going on with him. He needs a contract if they're going to keep him or not. Javi is another guy. Schwarber is another guy. Almora, you can't keep Almora at this point. You know what I mean? You can't. Happy finally kind of found his own this year.
He
actually played really well this year. Caratini has been proven a professional baseball player. He belongs up there.
And now Hayward's contract isn't considered to be that big because of everything that's going on.
Because
inflation and so forth.
But
that'd be a good trading chip for you guys to get something in return.
Look, the Cubs did win a division in a short season. But how good is that actually? I mean, like I said earlier, 4 of the 5 teams in the division made that expanded postseason, and not one team from the division made it past the first round. The Cardinals were the only team to win a game. The Reds, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Cubs, all out in the first round. All of them. Okay, so how good is it that they won the division? I got into an argument with someone on Facebook who actually unfriended me about it.
Yeah, we can talk about
because he goes, the Cubs sucked all year. They didn't belong in the playoffs, and I'm like, well, but they won the division. Yeah, but they sucked all year. I says, but that doesn't make sense. You can't suck all year and also win the division. And he just kept going back and forth, and eventually he was like, I'm not friends with you anymore. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I love being in fourth grade. So it's whatever, but I mean, it's very frustrating, and I forgot about how meatheaded people were, and I told you, I says, man, after a loss, I forgot how big of a meathead people are. But yeah, I mean, it's time to take a deep look and make some tough choices. So last thing to wrap the whole baseball thing up, it's the end of the season. When we first started doing the show, we reported 60 games in 66 days. We didn't know what was going to happen at all. The entire season was clouded with uncertainty, but thankfully, MLB was able to get a season in, even though the season didn't end the way that either one of us wanted it to. We have to give it up to the players, and we have to give it up to MLB for putting it together for the fans.
Yeah, I would say that baseball did a great job as far as handling the COVID situation and keeping most of the players in the bubble. We had some players that stepped out of the bubble, but they got punished for that.
"Quote unquote" bubble.
Cleveland. Looking at you.
Or not even necessarily being a bubble, because it wasn't really a bubble. It was just about like being
quarantined
taking the precautions. Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm sure money had a lot to do with it, but thank you to everyone who made a baseball season possible at all.
All right. Okay, true Chicago sports fans, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans. Show off your Chicago pride with some fresh gear from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create simple, classic clothing that represents the Southside Chicago lifestyle. With products like hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and glassware, Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. Check out gritclothing.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z. Are you ready for some football? It is time for some Bears talk. This is 3 and Out.
All right, first down.
Yeah.
My first down is the inability of the Bears to score. 3 points through 3 quarters is just pathetic.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. That's the word I got for them. They played pathetically. Running the game was halted, which was definitely impacting the passing game.
Yeah.
Because Nick Foles is a play-action quarterback.
Right.
So if you can't run the ball, they know you're passing.
Right.
So they can set their defense to that. Bears had 28 total rushing yards, 10 for 27 for Montgomery. So that means the other people that rushed got a little bit of yards or negative yards.
It was bad. I mean,
again, no Cohen.
And I think people underestimated how much that was going to mean to them.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you look overall, the Bears weren't completely terrible. They had 269 total yards, 241 passing yards, and then 28 rushing yards. That hurts.
Yeah. What you got for second down, E?
Second down. Third down conversion rate was absolutely atrocious. 4 for 14 on third down. Penalties killed them even more. 8 penalties for 103 yards.
Yeah, penalties shows that you're not being disciplined.
No.
When you're not disciplined, you're not going to win games.
No, here's the thing. Total yards. Colts 289, Bears 269.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about the rushing yards. Colts had 103 rushing yards, not world beaters. Bears had 16 first down. Colts had 18. On third down, they were about 500. Well, a little less than 500 clip, but we were just terrible. Overall, 59 total plays for the Bears, 68 for the Colts. And time of possession, 32 and a half minutes for the Colts, 27 and a half for the Bears.
There was a lot of stats for both teams that a couple minutes here,
they balance out.
One extra for, yeah, exactly. It was a very balanced game as far as you look at the stats.
Except for scoring.
But then you look at how they were playing with the naked eye, and you're like, the Bears were missing tackles. which gave them more first downs, and
that's fine. But the defense held their
they did. It's
they
just
held them under 21 points, and if your defense does that, they did their job.
right. The thing is that they were out there for so long because the offense would keep going 3 and out.
All right, what's our third down?
Third down, defense looked decent, just like we just talked about. Rivers was 16 for 29 with only 190 yards.
That's it.
I mean, he usually puts up 400 yards. So, I mean, this looks good. So
that
it kind of looks like a Mitch line.
That looks like a Mitch stat line right there.
Yeah. Didn't the Patriots ask if Mitch was available?
They did. They did. I don't know. It depends on how long Cam's going to be out.
Yeah. All right. Running backs managed 103 yards, rushing yards against the Bears defense.
Which, I mean, that's kind of a standard line.
That's fine.
100 yards is about standard.
Right. Again, like you said, they're not world beaters. So it's just that the offense could not score for us.
No.
So we saw a few good, promising drives where they're going down and then it just stalls.
Yeah, we watched them. We're like, from the end zone, you got a 23-yard pass, a 20-yard pass, and then a couple of short passes, and then get down within the red zone. They're like, oh, I think I want to go home now. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think that, the lack of the running game, the lack of using the tight ends.
Yeah.
They know you have 2 targets.
Right.
That's all you're going to do. So they know how to sit down and look out for that.
I mean, I think Jimmy Graham had a couple of catches. He wasn't, he wasn't like we're used to him. 4 catches for 33 yards. Demetrius Harris, 1 catch for 6 yards. That's the entire extent of your Cole Kmet. Nothing.
They threw at him one time.
Okay,
I didn't even see that.
You know what I mean? A-Rob was A-Rob as usual. 7 receptions, 101 yards. He had that 1 touchdown late in the game that didn't mean anything.
No, not at all.
And I said when we went on Facebook Live right after the game, I says I almost wish they didn't score that touchdown. Because now Nagy's going to be boosting up their ego. Well, guys, at least you got a touchdown at the end of the game. He's going to stutter and do what Nagy does. And he's like, all right, Porky Pig over here, calm down, okay? Like, speak your mind. I really wish Nagy would speak his mind. You know what I mean? So let me, watching Nick Foles, okay, you call him a microwave. Get him hot, he's good to go.
Right.
But, he's not expecting to get hot or not expecting to start. That's the thing. I don't know if he's a starter. So, as we punt it off to our man, Il Brown.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Mitch was pulled after 2.5 games, which is about 10 quarters of football. If his leash was really, really that short, why didn't they, 1, start Foles from the start, or number 2, go after someone like Cam Newton? I mean, were they really just trying to save face with Mitch? What was the point of only having him in there for such a short time? It feels like Nagy couldn't wait to get him out of there.
I think I made reference to this in an earlier episode, man. Matt Nagy truly doesn't have his guy. He's familiar with Nick Foles, but that's not his guy. I believe that Matt Nagy deserves the opportunity to get his guy via free agency or the draft. They gotta let him go and get his guy. You keep, it's like there's always something missing in the offense for Matt Nagy. Whether you have Mitch with his athleticism upstairs, he doesn't have it. Foles has it upstairs, doesn't have the athleticism. You know what I mean?
But not the athleticism. Well, that's what I'm saying is that if your leash was so short that 10 quarters was all he was going to get, my leash was about 4 games. Let's see what you can do in 4 games. It seemed like for some reason they were so desperate to win that Atlanta game. Something in their heads was like, we got to win this game. We got to win this game. We got to win this game. I mean, I don't know if it's because they saw what Dallas did when they came back against Atlanta the week before. But for some reason, it felt like they were just so desperate to win that game. They're like, all right, get Foles in there now. And to me, look, like I said, I'm never going to cry about a win. I want them to win every single game for the rest of my life. Every game, no matter what. Okay? But if your leash is so short and you know that you're going to pull Mitch, why not go after Cam Newton?
That's we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. I got something. I got something good in store for that.
So on that note of picking out quarterbacks, and we know Cam is out with COVID.
Yes.
All right. and I know everybody did not want to go after Jameis Winston because he's a turnover machine, right?
But
he's a backup. He's a backup right now, so there's no numbers for him.
No.
But Teddy Bridgewater, 26 for 37, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Came back and won that game against Arizona today.
There you go. That's another one.
And
he's a younger guy.
I wanted him
now
over all the rest of them.
Here's the thing to me about Bridgewater.
Okay.
If you have Bridgewater, he's young enough where you're going to have to commit to him for a couple years.
Which is fine.
Which is not fine, because if we're arguing the fact that we want Nagy to pick his own guy from the draft.
No, I'm saying if Nagy was able to say Bridgewater is one of my guys. We don't know that.
This is what I'm saying. Nagy, as a head coach, has never had a chance to pick a quarterback from the draft. So if you bring in a guy that bring him off a free agency that you know you're going to have to play for a couple years because of his age and because otherwise it's another waste, you basically you're again hamstringing Matt Nagy because you're not giving him the total chance to pick the guy that he wants. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's a coach. He's not the GM.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter because now you're looking at...
You got to look at the dynamic between the coach and the GM. Okay. There's going to be GMs that's like, you're going to play these guys because I say so. And then there's GMs that say, hey, coach, what works best for you? Okay. Not every team works the same way, man.
So then let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What was Nick Foles doing starting today? Who made that call?
Nagy. He's going to play the players.
That's my point.
He's going to play the players that are put in front of him.
That's my point.
But he didn't sign him. Nagy didn't sign him.
Who had the connection to Matt? Who had the connection to Foles? Was it Pace?
The coach.
That's my point. Nagy, you're going to tell me Nagy has no input on who the Bears bring in as quarterback?
It was the offensive coach has the connection. Not Nagy had a cup of coffee with him. That's it.
Nagy still plays in Nagy's system. Anyway, we got.
Let's talk to the expert. How about that? Let's not stop arguing. Let's talk to the expert.
He's over here listening to us. Hey,
I'm over here.
Tell me now that you heard all that. Tell me what you think about that.
Let's wait for my ugly. Let's wait for my ugly. Because I got a bit, man. I got a bit.
All right, let's start off positive. Let's start Will, give us your defense.
Let's give us your good.
Man. Defense actually looked like the Bears' defense, man. Settled down after that first big play they gave up. Yes. After the first drive, defense settled down. Just get 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out, holding them to field goals. Even with the flip field position, defense balled out. Looked more like what we're used to seeing from the Bears defense, especially with the bend don't break mentality.
Does it seem to you like they almost need, or they almost always give up that big play in the first series so they can almost calibrate themselves? Because it seems like they've done that in the last couple games at least.
There seems to be a trend for them this season, and the NFL is a copycat league, man. So teams are like, hey, let's take a shot early. You know what I mean? So they have to shore that up.
Yeah,
they're giving us one for free. Here's one for free. I'll take it.
Man. Jalen Johnson is a rookie. They're going to attack him. And he a couple of times he's been victimized, but once he settles in, man, that kid's going to be a stud. And so I'm not really worried about him. So
I was the one thing on defense that hurt my feelings was the fact that Roquan Smith wasn't able to keep his 1 foot in bounds when he had that awesome catch. I was like, I'm sitting here screaming, yeah. I get more excited for Bears interceptions than I do for touchdowns.
It's our only shot at a touchdown, man. So it's like, but man, it was a hell of an attempt by Roquan, man. But we still would have lost today. That we just didn't have it. Some days you just don't have it, and it was really good game planning by Indianapolis, man. Those guys are well coached. Just up front, like they say you want to build your teams from the inside out. That coach team is built on both sides of the ball from the inside out, man. Like DeForest Buckner was just wreaking havoc today, man. Just dude.
And they just brought him in recently. I think you just
everybody's
traded for.
Like, man, where's the pass rush? The pass rush was getting swallowed up by those lights out offensive linemen that's on the Colts. Like Phillip Rivers has never had that kind of protection in his whole entire life. Bro. Like,
no. He needs it too for as much as he runs his mouth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now he's talking smack because he has time.
He's over here. Gosh darn it, Roquan, you almost got him, didn't you?
He's got his own personal bouncer named Quentin Nelson, who I wanted the Bears to get so badly. Oh man,
from
Quentin
Notre
Nelson
Dame, yep,
stud.
Well, that's okay. Pretty the way that at the rate that Phillip Rivers has kids, he's gonna have his own offensive line that are all named Rivers by the time he comes back next season.
He's popping them out, man. Good grief. And Rivers got about 17 kids?
14?
Something like that. Something 14. Like that. He's like, Old Man River. And here he comes. And his wife gets all nervous. Stop singing, Phil.
Out, man. But, yeah, man. Good showing. I'm encouraged. Defense showed up. Got a very big test coming up Thursday, man. Quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround.
Has to get there.
2 games in 5 days.
It's going to be a long day. We need pass rush Thursday. Period.
So can you break down the quick turnaround? Like you play on a Sunday, you said Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and then you got a 5-day turnaround. Can you talk to me about what do the players go through with that quick turnaround? Like, how does that affect their schedule?
It's really tough, man. But,
tell us about that.
The Bears kind of got lucky because they don't have to travel, so you get to stay home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a quick turnaround, man. Like, you're not going to get a day off. You know what I'm saying? You come in Monday, it's film, cold tub, of course. Wednesday, Tuesday, more film, light walkthrough. Wednesday, another walk through. Thursday, game day. So it's really like you got to just flush out whatever happened on Sunday and just shift your focus like right away.
Yeah. At least you can forget what happened quickly.
Yeah, right away.
You don't have that much time to think about it.
Here's the game plan. Here's the film. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Because the thing is when you have games that are closer, you're going to dwell on that more. One more thing this way or that way or whatever. If it's a blowout, you're like, whatever, we got blown out. It happens sometimes. When you have that game that, realistically, it came down to the fourth quarter, which they've come back from behind every single game this year. Eventually, we're going to catch up to them.
You can't consistently try to win like that, man. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So,
all right, what's your bad?
Bad offensive play calling. At some,
you mean offensive like that offended me?
Underarm motor offensive, man. Like you have to understand what the opposing team is trying to do to you, and you're losing the time of possession battle. You know what I mean? Because you keep giving the ball 3 and outs. You have to do something to jumpstart the offense a lot sooner. I'd rather see an aggressive game plan where it's like, okay, these guys are stopping the run. Like it wasn't one of those things where the Bears failed to establish the run. The Colts were stopping the run. So it's like, okay, they're taking this away.
Yes.
The last thing you want to do is dink and dunk. You have to attack vertically because that's going to open the run game back up. So I was really surprised that Nagy waited to the fourth quarter, you know what I mean, to go hurry up, to go 5 wide and spread them out and let just Nick Foles, just deal. You know what I mean? So, Nick Foles, that's one of his strengths, actually. You know what I'm saying? He can read coverages. So I was like, man, what are you waiting for? Like, the run game is crap. The dink and dunking, that's what they want you to do. That's like
right. Wasting time.
It's a waste of time. So it's like, dude, you have to attack vertically.
So let me ask you, what do you think overall of Nagy's play calling in his time in Chicago?
One, there's no film on the guys the head coach calling plays. You're going to catch people off guard. Year 2, they're going to make the adjustments. Year 3 is when you should really be able to open up your playbook. And
year 3, absolutely. You should make your adjustments.
You got to make your adjustments to the league. And it's just showing his inexperience as a play caller, man, and as a head coach. I think the dude is a solid head coach, man, but it's okay to give up the clipboard. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a whole bunch of Andy Reid's in the NFL, man. So,
and realistically, he just got the clipboard when he was in Kansas City when Reid gave it to him in the first place.
Play calling is a science, man. Like, you know, you have to know when to kick it into high gear, when to be conservative. Like once his script doesn't work, you never see the adjustments, and it's like, and that's my he's still trying to force the issue, and it's like, nah, man, you have to abandon ship, and
you got to make you got to make your adjustments.
Perfect example is that we last year we're like, hey, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
I'm not an idiot.
And guess what? You were an idiot because you didn't run the ball.
You didn't run. No, it's. I like him as a coach overall. I think he needs to be a little bit more stern with his players and with the media overall. Because we're not sitting here talking about we're professionals to the point where I'm not going to stutter every now and then, but I'm also not a head football coach in the NFL. So when you're talking, every time you can hear his wheels turning and he's clicking and he's like, well, Mitch, and then this and that, and every single time I'm like, bro, go out there. If you did a good job, hey, Mitch did a great job today. These are the things he did good. He can clean up these things. Hey, Mitch did a bad job today. He should have had more than 100 yards passing. He did a good job scrambling. His footwork needs attention. We'll fix that. Speak up, boy.
It sounds like a guy that's mixing his words. And
yes, because he's afraid of offending anyone.
He's not fully bought into what he signed up for. You know what I mean? And you could tell. You know what I mean? He's not fully bought into that. He doesn't have his quarterback. He doesn't have the type of offensive line to run the zone read scheme. He doesn't have a Kelsey. He doesn't have a Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have what he needs to run, what he truly wants to run. But it definitely starts with the quarterback, man.
I feel like I should have seen more out of Cole Kmet so far.
Now.
I mean,
by now.
It's granted, you say by now, it's not week 12, but week 4, I feel like you bring in your early pick. I mean, I want to see some out of Kmet.
I mean, one throw.
Yeah, he's not getting a whole lot of targets.
I mean, they're relying on.
I'd like to see him get more.
No, he's really not. He's not. You're definitely seeing. You saw more throws to Demetrius Harris today, and Jimmy Graham. You're going to see Jimmy Graham, but we thought we were going to see Cole Kmet basically like be the starter out there, and Jimmy Graham being almost a second stringer.
Well, Kmet is actually the best blocking tight end I think that they have currently. So he stays in a lot, man. So you know what I mean. But he's really a wide tight end. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's move him there, man. Let Jimmy Graham be the move guy or Harris be the move guy. We didn't draft this guy, second round to come in and just be a blocking tight end. You know what I mean? And that's not what the offense needs, man. Like, we need dynamic playmakers to occupy the middle of the field. Honestly, they're underusing Jimmy Graham, man. He looks really, he looks really. I mean,
bored.
like physically, he looks really refreshed. You know what I mean? Like he looks like he can go out there.
He looks cut. He looks big. I mean, he
looks confused why he's being pulled out of the game.
Like, come
when
on,
he goes to the side, he's like, why are you pulling me out?
Yeah. No, but physically, he looks like he's in good shape. I mean, like you got a reminder of what Trey Burton looks like today, and Trey Burton looks like kind of a smallish wide receiver with a what I mean. But he's not as slight as a lot of wide receivers. But Jimmy Graham looks like a monster. I mean, he's big, he's cut, he's still got some speed on him. He can still jump and catch the ball.
For sure.
While we're talking about the roster, what's your ugly
face, man? Let's get going.
Ooh, here it goes.
Oh, this is going to be
I've
good,
been waiting
man.
for this.
So first of all, man, the main thing that we've been having issues with in Chicago hasn't been the defensive side of the ball. Ryan Pace is really a defensive-minded general manager. He's great at building defenses, but why is he here to help build out an offense? that's not his strong suite. He's the reason why the Saints defense kind of, they're stinking it up this year, but this is a weird year all the way around the board. But he's able to go out and identify those Cameron Jordans and all those type of players that turn the Saints defense around. And he went and got a King Hicks from the Patriots. So you know what I mean? Like, so
exactly.
He's going to build out your D line. He's going to make sure your secondary is solid. But why is he here to fix the Bears' Achilles heel, which is piss poor offense?
Yeah, the offense.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, I mean, if you overall look at his defensive picks, aside from Floyd, they've all been pretty damn good.
Absolutely, man.
The defense has been good. Yes,
I mean,
there's no arguing on that.
We're still in shock that he was able to pull off the Khalil Mack trade. And he knew what he wanted. He knew what it took to get him.
Yeah,
you got Eddie Jackson.
This defense is built to win. Like, you know what I mean? So,
right. You got the new guys that got this year.
On how to build out the offensive team that Matt Nagy needs. Like,
what do you think has been his best overall offensive draft pick so far?
I would have
in 4 or 5 years.
Tariq Cohen. I'll have to say Tariq Cohen.
Okay.
Tariq Cohen's a difference maker on special teams.
Okay.
Out of the backfield. In any other offense, Tariq Cohen would be going berserk.
Yes, that's why I keep trying to tell. They're like, why did they sign him?
They got him for cheap.
Give that money to Allen Robinson. I said, first of all, they didn't give him that much money. They gave him like $6 million a year for 3 years. A-Rob wants like 18, 20 mil a year. Okay, so basically you can't, those numbers don't work out.
And he's going to go into a year. Let's say he goes to being a free agent.
Yeah,
there is a bunch of wide receivers that are going to be free agent that have similar or better numbers.
Yeah.
So maybe the Bears are playing hardball to see what's going to happen. Are these other players going to get franchised or?
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, if you hadn't said Tariq Cohen, I was already starting to lean towards Mooney. I've been very impressed with him.
I think Cody Whitehair is an extremely solid pick. Offensive linemen don't get a lot of the glory.
I mean, I'm thinking more of the skill positions.
Yeah.
I'm not, bro. No offense. I'm not thinking about the guys with their hands in the dirt. No offense, bro.
The guys in the trenches.
I'm thinking about, you know what I mean. I'm thinking about like the dynamic guys, the playmakers. Those are the ones that and just like any other fan, that's what I'm focusing on when I'm thinking about that kind of
the
question.
Average football fan is not going to be paying attention to the trenches like I do. So, this pick with Darnell Mooney is extremely impressive. What is 6th rounder? Like, that's diamond in the rough.
Yeah, it was
man.
late. I mean, I think right now you could definitely.
Oh, he's a second.
He's a second.
Ink. It's not in pencil anymore.
No,
he's better than Anthony Miller
I think he's surpassed Anthony Miller. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anthony
He's already
Miller has
surpassed
Butterfingers, and honestly, I don't even think that's his stick. It's the lack of confidence. Like, Anthony Miller, is a guy. He's a true slot. He needs to be seeing 7 to 9 targets every game, and
there's a lot of players on this team that they're not using correctly.
Man. But Ryan Pace, man, he comes in. First thing he does is, and there's an article on the Bleacher Report where they spilled all of the tea, right? The proverbial tea. They botched
I heard about this.
that 2017 draft, and it's a fireable offense. If I'm a McCaskey, come to my office, bro. Like, because you can't let this leak out to the press that your main guy was Patrick Mahomes, and you see what he's become. But yet we have Mitch Trubisky and traded up for him
on the bench,
and he's on the bench.
I mean, we all know at this point he got the 49ers bamboozled Ryan Pace, and they were out. They were really after Solomon Thomas, and who the Bears were slotted to pick.
We were slotted to pick
at number
Adams,
3,
which would have been fine. You take the best guy available.
Yeah.
You needed a safety.
Yes.
You know, or if you're feeling froggy, you trade out of that pick and go and get Patrick Mahomes since he's your guy. Now, if they would have, you know, if the lies wouldn't have been told about every quarterback, those were the top 3 guys in the 2017 draft. Every evaluator,
right,
what his name worth anything, had Mitch as the 3rd best prospect out of all of those guys.
Okay.
I don't see how.
I saw a lot of number 1s there. I saw a couple that had like Deshaun Kaiser as their number 1 prospect.
Yeah, I just don't see how Mitch was so high when he didn't have.
Well, you're saying number 3 between who else was it? Deshaun Kaiser. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying number 3. Yeah.
There were so many guys,
and Mahomes,
like you said, there were a lot of guys that had Mitch ahead of those guys. Those guys can't work for me.
Yeah.
Those guys get out of my scouting department. Get off my blog site. There's no way you put on the film like I do. Like I have a draft process you guys wouldn't believe. Like you have to see it to believe it, man. Like I have these thick notebooks.
We will.
And
I can't.
We will.
We can't wait for that, man.
Like, when it's draft time, I'm going to show everybody my process.
Bro.
You guys are going to think I'm a freaking maniac, man, because.
Bro,
that's not good.
When that time comes, we're gonna do a special edition, Facebook Live, YouTube, whatever it is, man. This is what we're ready for. But let's put that on the back burner and just let me get your grades for today. Offense, defense, coaching.
Offense, F, terrible, hot garbage.
Only
F,
one offense this week.
Flabbergasted, whatever adjective you want. Hot, F. I can't give them an F. Minus times to the 3rd power, just terrible. Just nothing.
Now I'm gonna stop you because I'm not gonna give him a whole F because Foles still outperformed Phillip Rivers and he wasn't completely terrible.
I got another
but their
F
rushing
word,
game was
man.
bad.
Those numbers
bad.
Those numbers was fluff. All of it.
Whoa. Well, you know what it is. It was numbers that got him down the field, and they could not get in the end zone, and that's where your F is coming in. And the F word I want to use, I can't use on air.
Me too. We keep it clean, man. We need sponsorship dollars, baby. We keep it clean for you.
That's right. That's right.
I just told you. Listen to this. Nick Foles, 249 yards. Chicago Bears total yards, 269 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 29 yards rushing, right?
So there you go. There you go right there. There you go right there.
Yeah. All right, what's your grade for the defense?
Don't hand the ball off, man. That's what we got to look forward to. That's awful. Defense, I'm going to give the defense B+. I'll go B+. I'll go B+.
Okay.
I'll go B+ for the defense, man.
Right.
It's hard to constantly get short fields to defend. You get the ball right back. Here you come 3 plays later, or not even 3 plays later, and sometimes you think it's a turnover. Man, look, can't even get a drink of Gatorade.
Look, Rivers 16 for 29, 190 yards. 190 yards. Like we said earlier, that's a Mitch Trubisky stat line right there.
Rivers killed us on 3rd down.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, 3rd downs, they were 18 of 19, or 8 of 19. And 4th down, they were they were 50%. They were 500. So, okay.
Coaching gets an F, man. And I'm sick of this mess, man. Look, I think it's time for, I want to throw some props to my man Bill Lazor. Bill Lazor is a excellent offensive mind, man. I had some time. I actually had a chance to spend some time with him at the combine back in my day. He was with the Bengals organization at the time, and brilliant dude, man.
Yeah, he's been around for
Give that guy
NFL for a long time.
Like Matt Nagy.
Well, he is the Oko. I mean, you might as well.
Like Matt Nagy's a great motivator. Right now, he hasn't found his feel as a play caller. Stop being stubborn. Pass the clipboard.
It seems like his focus is stretched too thin right now. He needs to focus on the program as a overall, and not just as It seems like he wants to be an offensive coordinator and let everyone else do whatever else they want on the other side.
He's got one of the best staffs in the entire NFL. He's got exceptional offensive minds. He's got exceptional position coaches. Even his coordinators have head coach experience or interim experience. Like Chuck Pagano could tell you what to do in certain situations.
Yes. Yeah.
You know
Former
what I mean?
head coach.
Right.
So, like,
Former head coach.
dude, lean on your assistants, man. Like, you cannot
Delegate.
make all the decisions on the offensive side of the ball. And this is the I mean, dude, like through the first 3 quarters every week, it's just painful to watch.
Hot garbage.
Painful to watch.
Okay, so we got Tampa coming up. Let me get your prediction for Thursday Night Football tonight. What are we looking at? Brady scored 5 touchdowns today, or on Sunday.
You know what? That Chargers
hurt your head too hard.
has pretty good guys in the secondary too, but I don't think they're better than our guys, and they dang sure don't have as much of a pass rush. Bowles is out for the Chargers again, right? One of their big guys out. It's either Ingram or Bowles. Sure. One of those guys are out. Derwin James is out.
Oh, Derwin James is out because he got another ACL or whatever, and then I think Bose. I think Bose is out. I think Bose is injured as well,
man. So
yeah, that's what it is.
The key to this game, and I'm going to put on one player, man. Khalil Mack needs one of his takeover games Thursday for us to have a chance to win. We need Khalil Mack that showed up fresh off the trade, week 1. You know what I'm saying? Wreaking havoc against Green Bay, Khalil Mack. We haven't seen that guy in a while.
Quinn was in there. He looked okay today. He had that horse collar tackle. But yeah, I mean that's what it's going to take to take down Brady, because he seems to be hitting his stride over there in Tampa.
How about Eddie Goldman, man? We missing that guy tremendously right now.
I don't have a good feeling. Right. Oh, but we don't need him. We don't need him. Okay.
Let me tell you something about 34 defense, man. 34 defense is only as good as your nose. Without that up the middle pressure and the ability to eat double teams, Bilal Nichols is a solid guy, but he's really a 5 technique. He does not belong at the nose. Brent Urban does not belong at the nose.
All right, Will, so what is your prediction for the final score of this Tampa Bay and Bears game?
I got Tampa 31-20.
Yeah.
Brady is still sharp.
I
had 35-17. I don't think we get past 17 points.
No, not as we're going right now. Unless we got a couple of pick sixes or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't have faith.
Yeah, I'm not feeling what's going on the offensive side of the ball right now. 35-17, 31-20, somewhere around that range is accurate.
Basically, too much to not enough.
Yeah, we won't be able to keep up. We won't be able to score.
Not at all.
So we're looking at 3-2.
Yeah, today was a very winnable game, man. That's why you wanted to get today's game, especially with a short turnaround.
And I even wore the number 40 jersey to get to that 4-0, and they couldn't do it. You know what's up?
Yeah. I think your goal is to try to get to 4-2 with Carolina coming up after a nice little, long off. Everybody gets to recalibrate.
That's what Z's boy, Bridgewater.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not. And McCaffrey may be back, so it's not a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's the Bears' next best chance at another win.
I mean, that when McCaffrey comes back, that'll be good for my fantasy team, but I don't want to play against him.
Yeah, not for the Bears.
I don't want to play against him.
Same here.
That's a bad fantasy if you're the Bears. That's not a fantasy.
Man.
That's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
And McCaffrey is a different animal.
Okay. All right, everyone. That's our Bears analyst, Il Brown. Check him out every week for his Bears expertise. And don't forget to check out his podcast, Beat the Block, available on all major platforms. Thanks, Will.
Indeed.
Thanks, Will.
All right, man. You guys take it easy.
All right, see you next week.
All right, everybody, let's take a pause for the cause and hear a word from our sponsor.
Is the first anime manga company to feature characters of color, bringing a level of flair and authenticity to the genre as a whole. With influences ranging from Japanese manga and animation, Western comics, streetwear, hip-hop, and various forms of cinema, Noir has created a unique style that can be appreciated by the masses. Check out noircaesar.com for more information.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yeah.
It's that time again, brother.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is, bro? It's time for Stirring the Pot.
Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
All right, brother. What do we got today?
Well, what do you think it is?
Well, we did hot dogs.
We did hot dogs. We did ketchup. We did White Castle. We did Doritos. We did a lot of things so far. It's pizza, man. It's pizza, man. It's pizza. So the question is,
Yes, sir.
deep dish or thin crust?
Thin crust all day, brother.
Oh.
Thin crust all day. I love that crispy, thin crust, man. You can eat more. I'm not about the eating that foot of cheese.
Did you see you eat more? What do you mean you eat more?
I get more little slices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the point. You get more little baby slices.
That's fine.
This is one thing.
I don't want to eat with a fork and a knife, man. That's steak stuff. That's not for pizza.
Listen here, baby hands.
I'm not Sylvie, bro.
Listen here, baby hands. Okay. I mean, granted, my hands do look like baseball mitts.
Yes.
So when I say you talking about, I can pick up a slice. Like you pick up if you're a full grown man, a man, you can pick up a slice of deep dish with your hand and eat it.
I could
like a normal person.
I just don't want the 2 pounds of cheese that I gotta chew on for like the next 15 minutes. Man.
You know the only thing better than cheese? More cheese. Okay.
You are nuts.
You pick up that piece. It's a very unique thing to Chicago that you really cannot get anywhere else. Okay, when your friends come in from out of town and they say, "Oh, I want to go to have Chicago style pizza," where do you take them? They want deep dish pizza. That's what they want, man.
Okay. So let me rebuttal this a little bit, because
oh god,
oh boy. All right. So when you say deep dish, name a pizza joint.
Giordano's.
Ugh, garbage. Hot garbage.
Stop it. We're not talking about the Bears no more, bro.
I still got garbage on my mind, and you keep bringing up
Giordano's, Lou Malnati's, whatever it is.
I will take Lou Malnati's over Giordano's.
I'm just naming. I'm just naming places,
again, but
bro.
they don't have 3 pounds of cheese on each slice.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, bro. Yeah,
it's bread, and then it's that sausage patty, and then it's a little bit of cheese.
But no, because the sausage patty's on top.
No,
yeah,
sausage patty's on the bottom.
On which one?
Lou Malnati's.
You can get where the sausage patty's right on.
You can get small pieces of sausage instead of the patty.
But I've seen the patty on top, bro.
Ugh.
I've seen it. I'm doing keto, bro. That's my goal. Is I want a pizza where it's just a sausage patty and then all the rest of the stuff on there. And I can't really get a regular pizza like that. I'm not eating that cauliflower crust.
Right,
don't even look at me like that.
Right,
with
so
that,
you can get the pizza with the sausage bottom.
Yeah,
that's what it
yeah, but that's different. But either way, I mean, it's a very unique thing to Chicago. A lot of people, even my pops, who's from Jamaica, who lived here for 25 years. Every time he ordered a pizza, he never ever ordered a thin crust. Now, granted, Chicago has the best thin crust in the country.
Yeah.
But I can still
get that, New York.
I can still get thin crust other places. You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's like,
not the same.
It's like saying if Chicago had like some weird burger that was like, you know, a triple deck, whatever the hell it was. You only get one ingredient that goes on the burger in Chicago.
then you would miss it. If you go to New York, you're like, man, I wish I had a Chicago burger. It's whatever it is, but it's a very unique thing to Chicago. You cannot get it anywhere else unless you get it in that deep freeze and someone sends it to you across the country. But I mean, when people come over here, that's what they want to get.
No, I hear you. So we'll agree to disagree again.
I've never agreed to that. I will never agree to that.
All right, thin crust wins.
Oh, oh man! See what happens when you mess with Sox fans.
Oh no! At this point, we're both waiting for next year. So
hey, we had to wait less, but anyway,
you're gonna wait a lot longer now.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. That's it for today. That's all the time we have. Thank you for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, Noor Caesar, Fill-In Radio Studios, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to check out gritclothingco.com and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Thanks to our Bears analyst, Il Brown. Don't forget to check out his podcast, Beat the Block, which is available on all major platforms. Shout out to Ronesh, our producer, Jay Soto. Shout out to Mike Logic and Ideal from the AllNet podcast. Check them every other Monday, especially now during the NBA Finals. And don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter. That's True CHI Fans. And on TikTok, we're going to be getting some videos up there.
Yeah, Eddie's going to be dancing.
Oh, I'm dancing all day, baby. Dancing in my chair. I'm not using my legs.
Yeah, before we close out, I wanted to acknowledge something. We did a little bit of Facebook Live, and I want to thank all those people that participated today.
Absolutely.
It was fun. It was interactive, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that. We want to interact with our fans. We had messages from Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, and on the podcast, and I was talking to Eddie about this. We got listeners in Singapore.
Yes.
In Germany.
So we're hoping it's not just some random generator. We're hoping that we're getting fans that are overseas because they're in the military and they're doing their service for the country.
Well, I got a friend in South Korea, so I know he's actually listening. So,
yeah.
I also want to give a quick shout out to I got some college buddies that been listening and arguing with me on my personal page about Renteria, and then my other friend who's a football coach out in Antioch. He calls me the Big Vato.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I got tons of nicknames here, but
yeah, I mean it's great to hear from our listeners when we get the feedback.
Yes.
Shout out to Coach Steve from the Vipers.
There you go.
Giving us feedback, whenever he listens.
Walter, who always gives a weekly comment for us.
Well,
Thanks, Walter.
I wanted to say Steve was the genesis of that ketchup on your eggs argument. That's where that came from. And he personally texted me and he's like, "It's great." I'm like, "It's not, please." Anyway, just to let you know, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and don't forget to reach out to us on our email. We want to hear from you. Reach us at truechicagosportsfriends@gmail.com. And as always, until next time, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
A few moments later.
Oh, man. That's a full-grown man right there, okay?
Lover boy. Yeah. Super Dog got a big fat hot dog.
Hi, I'm Alex Touch. Like, whoa. Please don't.
That's off. I shouldn't have had those artichokes. They're poppers.